CBS News Miami.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. I'm Najahe Sherman, and welcome to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. Let's take a look at today's top stories. Off the top, a 6-week abortion ban is now in effect in Florida. CBS News Miami's Morgan Rynor breaks down what you need to know.
A family planning doctor said it is a terrifying time to be pregnant in the state of Florida. She says as a doctor, she took an oath to minimize patient suffering, an oath she said is now difficult to keep. This is the sign that greets people as they enter the Planned Parenthood offices in Florida. Attention all patients, effective May 1st, 2024, Planned Parenthood will not provide abortions after 6 weeks of pregnancy.
Law that bans abortion before many people even know that they're pregnant.
Planned Parenthood president of Southeast and North Florida said Wednesday marked a dark day for the state of Florida.
Floridians who are more than 6 weeks pregnant and don't meet the state-enforced requirements for the very limited exceptions in the law have nowhere else to go in our region.
Dr. Chelsea Daniels said she's already turned dozens of patients away.
And I get very choked up talking about it and thinking about it because I'm in clinic this morning upstairs and was just running down because we are having patients who are 6 weeks, 4 days pregnant, 6 weeks, 3 days pregnant, and we are telling them we can't help them.
And says the exceptions to save a mother's life or a fetal abnormality are hardly exceptions.
Doctors are too afraid to intervene, and patients are often waiting and waiting until they become infected in order to feel that the law can intervene. And that is because of the murkiness surrounding the language.
There's also an exception for rape, incest, and human trafficking.
I find them extremely confusing, and I think most doctors do, because exception language, when we think of exception language in abortion bans, these exceptions are written by people who have no medical background.
So educate your doctors so they know what they're doing.
Angela Corotalo is with the Office of Respect Life Ministry for the Archdiocese of Miami. This is a day she said should be celebrated.
We don't like to call it a ban because it's really a heartbeat law, because the baby's heartbeat starts beating. The heart starts beating right around 21 days.
Always alerting, always tracking. This is Next Weather.
And taking a live look outside, the shot a little hazy at this hour, but it was a nice day across South Florida after showers moved through this morning and afternoon. Next weather meteorologist Cindy Pressler joins us now. It's not even the rainy season yet. Almost though.
This is kind of like an appetizer.
Yes.
The lead up or a little tease of what we're going to be seeing in the next couple of weeks as things switch over to the wet season. 83 degrees right now. We've got partly cloudy skies. Our easterly winds, east-southeasterly, continue, but it's not breezy out there, and 83 degrees has been our high temperature so far. This is what we are looking ahead to. Drier pattern into the weekend, so things are going to start to dry out, although the humidity is going to stay up, but we're not going to see as much rain. Seasonal temperatures, though, will top out in the mid-80s. That's exactly where we should be at this time of the year. And isolated storms, though, with the sea breezes. So now we're starting to get the sea breezes coming into play. And that's why we get so much rain during the wet season, because we've got moisture in place and you need some lift. So these little sea breezes come in from both coasts and they kind of meet up in the middle of the state here, and that's where the showers and thunderstorms usually are. We have an easterly wind today, so now it's pushing everything off to the east, or off to the west, so that's where we're seeing some showers and thunderstorms. At this point, over Monroe County, Collier County, maybe a couple little showers up here in Broward County, but for the most part, most of that rain is going to be out of here. But look how much we picked up overnight into early this morning. My goodness, 1 to 2, even spots of 3 inches of rain, and you know what? We needed that rain. It's been very dry, so this is actually a good thing. So let's take us and put this into motion. By 6 p.m., these little showers and storms will be off to the west side of the state. We should be dry this evening, clear to partly cloudy skies, and then Thursday with an easterly wind again, east-southeasterly flow. That's not going to change, but much drier. We're not going to see those thunderstorms develop again. Winds, again, not too gusty for the time being, but by this weekend, we're going to pick up that breeze out of the east again and put it up to about 20-mile-per-hour gusts. So warm and drier conditions Thursday and Friday. So you got things planned. The next couple of days look pretty good, and then this weekend there will be a little bit of moisture in place, but with that easterly, southeasterly flow, it'll push everything off to the west side of the state. Looks like northern Florida will get in on some showers as well, but we're going to pick up that wind too and push those gusts 15 to 20 miles per hour. So here's your forecast. Look at that high tomorrow, 85 degrees. We're going to still put about a 20% chance for an isolated shower in there. 85, 84, 84, 84, all the way through the weekend and into next week. If we get any rain, it'll just be isolated showers, and that's about it.
Cindy, thank you. Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene says she will force a vote next week. It's to oust House Speaker Mike Johnson. Greene held a news conference outside the U.S. Capitol this morning. Today's announcement came a day after House Democrats came out and said they would block a floor vote to remove Johnson and save his job. No bond for former Miami-Dade Police Lieutenant Evelyn Fernandez. She is the ex-girlfriend of former Miami-Dade Mayor Carlos Alvarez. The judge denied her request for bond. As you might recall, she was arrested in October for allegedly firing her weapon at her ex-boyfriend, former Miami-Dade police officer David Sanchez. Fernandez barricaded herself inside a home in southwest Miami-Dade for more than 12 hours in October of last year. During today's hearing, the judge expressed concern for her safety. Coming up tonight, for the first time, we will hear from Fernandez's daughter. CBS News Miami's Peter Dinch will have the story tonight at 5. Miami-Dade County Mayor is expected to present air quality results to the Board of Commissioners next week. There are 3 sites where the new waste-to-energy plant may be built. These locations include Doral, Medley, and the Opa-locka West Airport near Miramar. Both Doral and Miramar's mayors joined us live. They expressed their opposition to building the incinerator in their communities. However, Medley's mayor actually wants it in his city. Take a listen.
When I saw this report and they were slamming it because of the cost, we have a way to mitigate that cost. We can either do a land swap, or we can do a what 60 to 70% of other municipalities do, a long-term contract, and have the public-private partnership where we shoulder all the responsibilities and risks, and all they do is bring the garbage.
The mayor says proceeds from any land swap or sale would partially go to charity. In Broward County, another window has opened today for school choice applicants, and this is for the 2024-2025 school year. Parents and guardians may now submit their application online. Just go to the Broward Schools website for more information. If you have already submitted an application during Phase 1, you do not need to submit another application. That's unless a different school or magnet program is desired. Notifications about Phase 2 application status should be available during the week of June 17th. When we come back, why playing video games at Dave & Buster's is about to get a lot more competitive. Stay with us. Welcome back to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. More confrontations earlier today at campuses across the country. This is video from the University of Wisconsin and Madison, where police clashed with protesters. There were wild scenes overnight from coast to coast. Firecrackers and brawls broke out near an encampment at UCLA. In New York, officers moved in on Columbia University's main campus, climbing through a window to get protesters out of Hamilton Hall. And these are just the latest in a growing string of campus protests against the war in Gaza. CBS News Miami's Michael George reports from New York.
Violent clashes erupted overnight on UCLA's campus between pro-Palestinian protesters who had set up an encampment and counter-demonstrators who launched what looked like some kind of fireworks into the tents. They also attempted to knock down the barriers in front of the camp.
There was like a lot of fights going on too, like people started hitting each other with sticks.
There did not appear to be a law enforcement presence on the campus for hours, but eventually police did arrive. Heated confrontations also escalated overnight at Columbia University as New York City police officers moved in. Some climbed through a window to get protesters out of an academic building they'd been occupying. The officers entered at the request of the university.
We knew these children were being exploited and they were in danger.
New York City's mayor blamed outside agitators for the rise in tension.
It was clear we had to take appropriate actions. When our intelligence division identified those who were professionals, well-trained, one of them was married to someone that was arrested for terrorism.
Police also began clearing the tent encampment that has been the symbol of the protests on Columbia's campus for nearly 2 weeks.
We will not stop, we will not rest. This is
it's not just the coasts. Police responded Wednesday to pro-Palestinian protests from Tulane University in New Orleans to the University of Wisconsin. The demonstrations have sparked more than 1,000 arrests nationwide since they started. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
UCLA has canceled classes today following the overnight clashes. Happening now, millions are marking Mayday, marching through the streets. They are calling for equality in the workplace. Workers from Spain to South Korea are calling for better working conditions, shorter hours, and higher pay. May 1st is also known as International Labor Day. In the U.S., thousands of hotel workers are staging rallies in more than a dozen cities, including Boston, Baltimore, Miami, and San Francisco. Secretary of State Antony Blinken met with key figures in Israel. It says the U.S. continues to push for a ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas. Earlier today, Blinken talked with Israel's prime minister about a possible truce. It would help free hostages and bring a pause in the nearly 7-month war.
There is a very strong proposal on the table right now. Hamas needs to say yes and needs to get this done.
The U.S. is also pushing for more humanitarian aid for Palestinians in Gaza. You may soon be able to do much more than play games at Dave & Buster's. How about placing bets on games? Customers will be able to place wagers on games using the Dave & Buster's app. Important to note, you can only place a bet if you are 18 and older. That's the CBS News Miami Quickcast. I'm Najahe Sherman. Stay tuned for more news right here on CBS News Miami and have a great day.